Hi, YouTube family of believers. It's Daughter of the Most High. I want to share a few thoughts about Dana Coverstone's dream and my personal reaction to it. And I just want to share that it was probably about 4 or 5 years ago that I read some information about the Statue of Liberty that I was shocked at the time. Almost nothing shocks me anymore, but at the time it shocked me. And what shocked me was that the Statue of Liberty actually has like satanic elements to it. And I didn't know that. I mean, when we see the Statue of Liberty, it's amazing to see. I've not seen it in real life, just pictures of it, but it's very moving to see. It's like, a symbol of the United States and our freedom and all of that. That's what most people see and think of and associate with the Statue of Liberty. But after I read up on it, after I read about it, I was quite surprised and shocked and alarmed by what I read. So when Dana shared his dream, I'm thinking back to what I read about the Statue of Liberty. And I think we've all been learning more in the last few years. And my doggies are right here. And so we've been learning that things, many, many things are not what they seem. And we've learned a lot about that. I'm not going to go into all of that, but that list includes the Statue of Liberty. So I looked up tonight. This is the freemasonrywatch.org. And I'll put this link in the description box. And what it says is just got some different information, but I'll share a little bit of it and then you can look at it when you get a minute. The Statue of Liberty in New York Harbor was presented in 1884 as a gift from the French Grand Orient Temple Masons to the Masons of America in celebration of the centenary of the First Masonic Republic. She is holding the Masonic Torch of Enlightenment, also referred to back in the 1700s by the Illuminati Masons as the Flaming Torch of Reason. The torch represents the sun in the sky. The Statue of Liberty's official title is Liberty Enlightening the World. The cornerstone of the statue records how it was laid in a Masonic ceremony. See plaque photo above. And I think the plaque photo is actually, oh, yep, it is above. It's right above. And let me just finish with this portion of it. Illuminati means to bear light. One way to symbolize this is by carrying a torch. A torch sits on the top of the Statue of Liberty, on top of JFK's grave, and on top of the tunnel where Princess Di was killed. Best-selling author Robert, I'm not sure how to say his last name, Bauval, Bauval. The cornerstone for the Statue of Liberty was placed in a solemn ceremony in 1884 organized by the Masonic Lodges of New York. The Statue of Liberty, which was designed by the French sculptor Bartholdi, it's Bartholdi, Bartholdi, and actually built by the French engineer Gustave Eiffel, both well-known Freemasons, was not originally a Statue of Liberty at all, but first planned by Bartholdi, if I'm saying that correctly, for the opening of the Suez Canal in Egypt in 1884. And then, of course, we've read that they didn't want it, and so they offered it to the U.S. And then there's more information here. It's not real lengthy, but yeah, there's just some symbols associated with it, and of course the Masonic side of it. So that's what I'm thinking of when I'm hearing Dana talk today. And Dana didn't mention anything about that in his in his video. So perhaps he doesn't know anything about it, or he was just sharing his heart for our nation that is sinking and changing rapidly. Not literally sinking, but you know what I mean, figuratively sinking. And so he didn't mention that, and his take on it as far as our nation, and when you consider the Statue of Liberty representing our nation, then yes, I understand his take on it. But my take was very different because I've read some information about it. And I don't know if you know much about the Freemasons. I don't, but I'm learning as I'm learning about everything as we just go through this season and time, and I want to learn more about it. But I've learned a little bit about it. And I have another link, so look for this one too. And this is, let's see, Ex-Master Mason exposes the Freemasons. So this guy, this is just about 25 minutes long, and he's talking about how the Freemasons, their image is good, it's giving, it's supposed to be about fellowship and helping others and, you know, all of that kind of stuff. And then behind the scenes is so dark, so demonic, that they support the one world order, one world religion, one world currency, and the Antichrist. And knowingly, not unknowingly, knowingly support the one world order and the Antichrist beast system that's, you know, right around the corner. And so this man is talking about it. I don't have his name up. I don't see it anywhere on here, but you'll see it, you know, you'll see the link. So he shares for about 25 minutes on his experience, and he left the Masons. Now I'm shocked that he did a YouTube video exposing them, because that is extremely dangerous to do. There are other videos, once I look this one up, where they talk about, like this one, Ex-Mason exposes the satanic practices of Freemasonry. What did the mysterious secret society of Freemasons actually do? They have very demonic, dark ties. Another one is why I left Freemasonry. So if you want to, and I want to look at some of these too. These are all YouTube videos that came up when I was looking up the Freemasons on YouTube. So my thought is, if I can just share, just from this standpoint, that I'm seeing Dana's dream differently. I'm seeing this when we keep learning about all the demonic ties, like this man in the video that I'm gonna leave the link to, that my daughter just came in and was talking to me about something, so I don't know where I left off on my sentence, but I know I was heading towards this man on the video, that most of Hollywood is, you know, into satanic rituals and, you know, Illuminati or, you know, Satanists. He also talks about how he said, I believe he said 95% of the police department are Freemasons. So my point is I just keep learning and hearing and finding out that there is so much of our nation steeped in the works of the enemy. So when I think of Dana's dream, I think of God, you know, so there she is, you know, struggling, and they're, you know, wrapping her head and, you know, I don't know what they hit her chest with in Dana's dream and all this kind of stuff. And her, you know, falling and trying to fight her way up. All I see is in that is that fake symbol, like so many things do, like Hollywood does, like the Freemasons do, that, you know, not all of the occult, you know, carries that facade and fake image, and then with all the nasty and evil behind the scenes. But a lot of them do. And that's what I see in Dana's dream, is that, there she is standing, for independence and, carrying the torch and the whole thing. And, that's what we bought into. And it's all a crock, like almost everything else. And so that's what I'm seeing and thinking as I share the dream. And I don't know if anybody else had that take on it. Now, I'm not saying my take is correct. I'm just sharing my take on it, my understanding, how I perceived it when he shared his dream earlier today. That's what I saw in it. And I am appalled by how much of our world is, our dollar bill with the Illuminati symbol on the back, the eye in the triangle or whatever that is. But I know it's an Illuminati symbol. And, just finding out that so much of Hollywood. Now we know Hollywood's pretty scuzzy and just the stuff. We know that, there's a lot of filth and a lot of most films are like some personal glory thing, and then there's always, affairs and murder and why murder sells, and in movies and books and murder, and it's like I am absolutely repulsed by murder. I never read anything or watch anything that's got that as the plot, and that's the majority of the plots, is affairs and cheating and sex and murder and the F-bomb all through the thing. So we can see that, but as far as actually serving the devil, I didn't know that for a long time, and I've been learning and uncovering this stuff in the last few years, or God's awakening me, and then in the awakening, I'm finding out more things. So I am appalled, by what I've learned and just how many things and symbols, the monuments, different things are actually related to the dark side and aren't, godly, aren't about our nation, aren't, truly what they present, including the Statue of Liberty. So just wanted to share my heart about that tonight. I want to hear from you guys what you think about this, and what your perception was, and perhaps share after you watch the links that I provide in the description box below, and just see what you think. Again, not sure, just wanted to share, because this has just been kind of rolling around in me today, just like, so anyway, that's it for tonight. I am a little bit stirred up. You can probably tell that, just because I'm so, like bothered again, or, upset again, because there's just more things. And again, I knew about the Statue of Liberty, and I just kind of set that aside because I've been learning things here and there. And again, I am not, some of the people on YouTube do ministry as their main job. I have a job, and my job is an hour away, so I have 40 hours of work and then 10 hours of drive time. So I don't get to put in the same amount of time into ministry as maybe somebody that works part-time or doesn't work, and they get to do it full-time. Man, would I love that. So maybe that's up the road for me. Who knows? But I would love that, because I love to be informed, and I get very passionate and excited about, I want to find out the truth. Even when I don't like the truth, I'm not someone that shies away from what is really going on in our nation. And when we understand what's really going on in our nation, God has seen this stuff all along. It's us that are waking up to what these things are in our world. 95% of the police department, now maybe that was an exaggeration, but he's a former cop, this guy. And he said, or maybe not former, he's a cop. And he said that about 95% of the police force is Freemason. It's like, what? So it just doesn't seem to end. So again, just sharing my heart, sharing my thoughts. We'll see what tomorrow brings. And that's all I have for today. So again, please share your thoughts after watching this video. on YouTube, and then also that the other thing is actually a written thing. It's not a video. It's you just scroll through it, the different images and different things. And it's again called freemasonrywatch.org. So look for that and let me know your thoughts. So thank you.